Hello, everybody.
Greetings, everyone.
All right, I had to check that before I muted it. Obviously, um, yeah. If you can, Terry, if you can go over and like and share if you haven't already, like and share the screen so we can see if we can get some more friendly people on here. That'd be appreciated.
All right, let me
And
go to YouTube.
I so got into our conversation, I forgot to do a couple other things here too. Normally would do. There's the banner. Probably set this up, even though. All right. So if you, Terry, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody.
Wait a minute. Let me do this. Let me finish doing this.
All right. Hey, Rick. Terry, are you somewhere where you have like a door or a window open or something like that?
Oh, let me turn this fan off.
Yeah, I was hearing something there. I was wondering what it was. All right, that would seem to be
All
better.
right. Well, I have I have liked the stream so far, but I must say
Huh.
we must do something exciting.
Yeah, well, we're going to here. Um, I was just helping my viewer count, as it were, trying to help my viewer count
Yeah.
there. So that's what I was doing. So, anyways, so hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand, our Friday edition, of course, which is our historical comics retrospect. This week, of course, we're continuing our look at October 1939. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, give me some more friendly people on here, that'd be appreciated. And also, as always, if anything we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to um, answer the questions as we
As best we
to
can.
the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Sorry, so you know how that goes sometimes. So
Yeah.
anyway, so tonight we're gonna focus in on comics that went on sale from Marvel Comics at the time known as Timely Comics, of course. Um,
Ah.
so that's what's going to be going down right now, as we're. But before we get into the actual reading of the comics, now we are going to go back to Marvel #1 from September of 1939 first to get the Kazar story in, and then we'll be on the October for the rest of it. So, anyways, so let me just before we get started on the actual readings, of course, want to introduce a couple of characters that we will be featuring tonight on this edition. One of them is Fiery Mask, Jack Castle here. So we're just kind of quickly go, and his origin is covered in the story. So we'll probably, but what we'll do here, what I normally do with these is go down to attributes here. So powers. So Fiery Mass powers. Fiery Mass has the powers of super strength as well as super breath, and leap miles in a single bound. Sound familiar?
Sounds like Superman before they gave him the ability to fly.
When I saw that, I'm thinking, I'm actually surprised they didn't. Well, I'm surprised that DC didn't go after Timely
I
for this.
know. I know, so am I.
But then I think the rest of it explains why here. But even though they went after Captain Marvel for quite a bit over that. But anyways, His body gives off intense heat, which he can use to erect a heat force field. So imagine that you're trying to get at somebody, and he basically puts up a wall of fire to keep you from, or a wall of
Yeah.
flame to keep you from getting you. You know,
Now, Mike, tell me you wouldn't want to have that superpower.
that's one of my alternate hero identities I've thought of over the years. But the thing is, the name I would give myself for that particular hero, I think Marvel already took Solar. You know, got
Yeah.
something to absorb solar energy and then it just blasts
Mm.
around this. You know, similar
Yeah.
powers to, I guess, Havoc. But anyways, he can transmit his protective powers via his touch, granting his force field to somebody else. He also has the ability to detect and track fluorescent salt using his electrically charged eyes. He's said to become endowed with with all the powers of the elements, superhuman strength, and the ability to cast electrical rays from his body. He can also produce a kind of electroplasmic flame at will.
Mm.
Weapons. The fiery mass often wears a morning star or wields a morning star or a mace. Um, and then Jack Castle is probably able to resist the hypnotic effect of the machine in a manner similar to the ones you. And I think that's from the origin story that we're going to read a little later on here. So that's fiery mass for you, or at least his powers.
Mm.
We'll introduce everybody to the characters in a moment here. So anyways, let me just take care of something. And we did seem to have 3 people here, and then I guess we lost somebody.
Now, people, you're not supposed to do that.
I can understand sometimes people may be busy with other things, but it would be nice if they.
Yeah, but lurking is supposed to be a Twitch thing.
Oh, people lurk on
Yeah.
people lurk on YouTube as well here. Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, this is what we are going for here. All right.
Well,
So
I say it like that because I know people do it on YouTube, but Twitch has this setup where you can let people know that you're going to lurk.
yeah, so that was Fiery Mass, and the other guy. Now these are the only 2 characters that continued beyond the first issue. That's why they're the ones that we're going to cover. So this next guy we're going to look at here is Monako, the magician.
Ooh.
His name was unrevealed. The name Monako was bestowed by his foster father, Prince of Magic. So again, we're not going to go over his history as much because we'll see that as we read. But here are his powers. Besides being superhumanly strong, Monako has magical powers of an unknown nature, presumably the same black magic used by the tribe which raised him. With his magical powers, he could manipulate objects in many ways. He could put inanimate objects in motion. Telekinesis is what that'd be. Change size of objects, make them transparent or super hot, levitate or disintegrate them. He could change himself from less than half an inch to several hundred feet. So quite a few powers there. He could create illusions, project others' thoughts, or mentally control them. Monako could create an astral image of himself. You know what an astral image is, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like
This is where we get into Doctor Strange.
Form, you know.
Yeah. This, like I said, this is where we get into Doctor Strange, Mandrake the Magician, and a few others.
And Mandrake was around at this time too. He was a regular feature in one of the David McCabe books As I recall, it was Ace Comics. Of course, they're not available for some reason, so I could, so we don't normally read them. We do usually just summarize them when we do come upon the milestone issues for that. So, anyways, continuing on here, of course, another magician, Zatara, was around this time as well,
Yeah.
originally. So, let's see, actual image of himself, which can act independently from him. However, he can read this vision's mind as far as everybody else's, and transport to Vision's location and merge with it. So, abilities: he was an accomplished acrobat and pilot. Weaknesses: most of his powers would be neutralized by being bound in iron. So,
Okay.
and we've heard of some heroes like that too before. All right, so that's our
You
introduction
know, you
to
know
the
why he was an ace pilot? You
huh?
know why you know why most heroes of this era were ace pilots?
Because
They were
it was a big thing at that point because going into World War II, you know,
most of these guys had just gotten back from World War One.
hmm,
That's the thing.
yeah. I mean, I
And the
know being a
airplane was the
pilot,
newest.
you see Hop Harrigan too. That's one of the
Right.
sometimes cover. But anyways, so now with all that being done, now it's time to get into the actual readings themselves. So actually, not that. So and of course, as I said, we're just going back to Marvel Comics #1 to read the Kazar story. Then we'll be on, basically the October stuff for the rest of the. So just a quick look back to everything there, and you can see all that, right, Terry?
Yeah.
All right, so that was the Human Torch story right there. We read
Mhm.
that last time. That and because I read that
Yeah.
with Rip last time. That and the Submariner story. Albeit it is a bit faded, but still we're able to make it.
I miss this art style.
You missed the art style.
Yeah.
It looks kind of chalky to me. Like they use
Mhm.
chalk more than anything else.
Oh, you have to remember most of these stories were also printed in newspapers too.
Yep, yep, I know.
That's the thing. And the newspaper style was chalky at best.
And here's the tech stories, which is why these things were called. Which is why these things were called, of course, comic magazines as opposed to comic books because of the tech stories they'd have to have in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're at 14 minutes here. So, all right, the Adventures of Kazar the Great. There's Chaka right there. From the famous character created by Bob Bird, Traja the elephant, and Czar the lion.
Iron. Mhm.
All right, so here we go. John Rand, young owner of a rich diamond field in Transvaal, is flying from Johannesburg to Cairo. Guessing it's Johannesburg, South Africa, to Cairo,
Yeah.
with his wife and their 3-year-old son David Rand, um, over the heart of the Belgian Congo. The plane develops motor trouble, and Rand is forced to come down in the thick, wild, tropical forest. All right. You want to be John here, and then I'll be Constance. I'll do my theme.
Okay. David, I'm going to land.
Okay, it was Constance, hold David. I'm going to land. Actually,
Oh,
did you see that or
I didn't see.
you,
I
you?
didn't see the. I didn't see the top part of
Oh, you're not seeing the top part.
it. Yeah. I can see it now.
Okay.
Constance, hold David. I'm going to land. Struggling to me.
Yeah. Right. The plane dives into the dense Congo jungle.
Constance, David, are you hurt?
John Rand staggers out of the wreck. Um, Tenderly, he lifts his wife out of the broken plane. Mummy, hurt? My leg. I think it's broken.
There's a medical kit. There's a medical kit in the plane. I'll fix you up in a jiffy.
While his mother was recovering, young David quickly made friends with the small jungle animals. Daily, Czar, Lord of the Jungle, watches the strange two-legged cub. Another pair of keen eyes watch the boy as he plays near the edge of the small clearing. Njaga, the leopard, could wait no longer. Look, Daddy! A warning cry from David's mother brings John Rand with a rifle. One quick shot stops Njaga, and the wounded leopard dashes into the jungle without harming David. David has no fear of jungle animals. You hurt him. Now he won't come back.
Strange. He doesn't seem to be afraid of any beast.
Rand marvels at the boy's lack of instinctive fear. But then children are like that, aren't they? Children,
They are.
children that young, they have no fear. My dad could tell you, you know, the way I was at that age. In modern times here, I'd sit there, I'd wander out of my house, I'd actually literally just walk into other people's houses and just make myself right at home. I'd just sit right in front of the TV. I'd go, hi, I'm Mike.
So,
When I was like, when I was
Mike,
a toddler,
when we were growing up,
that was the way I was.
so when we were growing up, we feared neither man nor beast.
Yeah. Later, the
'Cause
father's automatic saves David from an emerald green snake. Even then, the boy mourns the passing of a fellow denizen of the wild.
back, David.
Daddy, he's my friend. John Rand's announcement that searching planes would soon find them did not cheer David, unhappy with the thought of having to leave his new jungle companions. Yeah, we're seeing some of that Tarzan-esque
Yeah.
aspect you were talking about here.
Mm,
Basically, it's maybe with a few slight variations,
right.
almost the same origin here as Tarzan.
Right. Only difference is the young boy is much older than Tarzan was because Tarzan was an infant.
Right. He's a toddler here.
Yeah.
Plus the names, obviously.
Right.
Days followed, no sign of rescue. During which time, Rand built a safe and comfortable dwelling for his family out of parts of the wrecked plane. Constance recovered rapidly, and David's skin bronzed until, in the remnants of his torn clothing, he resembled a sturdy young savage. Let's see. John, I hear a plane. Water and fuel were within easy reach, and the parents were becoming reconciled to the strange environment when,
I
John,
like
I hear the plane.
I like the signifier. Right.
Right, so in the clearing, smoke rolls high as the drone of the plane grows louder. Rand splashes out into the lake, away from the towering trees, and waves a trampoline. Right, so turning the pilot, turning the pilot circles to the north um, without seeing the smoke. Hmm. Not a sign of Rand or his plane. No chance of finding them in this jungle. If only he'd been a little bit more attentive, huh?
Yeah.
Um, with a sinking feeling, Rand and his wife watched the plane disappear.
Ooh. This is a busy highway. There'll be another along soon. You have to love how they used profanity back then.
Well, yeah, and you notice how they spell that too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pooh. And
Mm-hmm.
who do we know as Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh Bear, I gotta be there. Me and you. You remember that
If you,
cartoon?
yeah. If you notice that some of the words will lead you to other cartoons.
Yeah,
That was done on purpose.
yeah. Well, again, probably to make it more like, kid friendly or what have you.
Yeah.
True. The plane came again the next day and one day after, but each time it was farther from their lonely camp until finally they came no more. The day came when Constance um, lay in the hut, consumed by a raging fever. So look at her right there.
Mm. Do you notice one thing missing
What?
from that drawing? The cleavage line is missing based on where they have a top open.
Ah, yeah. I don't know if that was done deliberately, if they were trying to do that or not. But um,
No, no, it was drawn so lightly that it probably faded during printing.
ah, well, the Cleveland's line. I mean, I don't think these particular comic book creators were trying to as much use sex to sell their comics.
No.
Probably could do. They were being more for a younger audience. But anyways, soon she died from the ravages of the tropical fever. Rand was heartbroken. Morbidly, he toyed with the idea of ending it all. Life held no meaning for him. So he was gonna commit suicide and leave his son to survive.
Right.
That was um, his wife's last wish had been that the boy must live. That thought, that conviction, brought Rand back to his senses. Immediately, he began making plans to trek back to civilization. David knew where the sweetest flowers grew for his mother's grave. Uh,
Okay.
The heavy rains stopped, and Rand studies the map he carried in the airplane.
It's about 200 miles to the nearest white outpost.
Now, of course, here it was probably considered more appropriate to say white and black, but we
Yeah.
wouldn't use those descriptors today in that situation.
No.
So just as a little note to take note of for those who might be watching and or watching the replay. That evening, a terrible storm lashed the jungle. You like how they said that? I'm going to read
Yeah.
that. That evening, a terrible storm lashed the jungle. And look how they got the trees swaying and all that.
Mhm.
That kind of like look like they're lashing. Let's see. As giant baobab trees plunged and fell, Rand swept young David into his arms and ran for the shelter of a cave. A sizzling bolt of lightning sends a mammoth tree crashing down on their head. I like how they use adjectives here.
Yeah.
The writing here, is pretty good. It's they're using more vocabulary. It's like
Mhm.
they're it's these kind of comics. It's the kind of comics that were written back in these days. I could see being used as good tools to teach kids how to read.
Right.
Like
That's
in
what I
the
was.
movie Town Torn Apart with Michael Tucker, Jill
Yeah.
Eikenberry. So
That was, and I'm sure some teachers would actually use these comics in schools.
well, you have to remember too, the kids of this time period were probably considered much more mature than the ones in
True.
our time. They had to
Yeah.
be because of the times they were living in. They had to
Exactly.
take a lot more responsibility a lot younger.
Yeah, they were still going through the depression. Most of these kids were
Right.
still going through the depression,
They were
so it
basically
was
coming out of it at this point,
coming
but
out of it,
still.
brother. Yeah, but they still had that mentality of the depression.
Right. Rand thrust the lad aside as the fallen baobab sends him spinning. Um, Quickly, the storm passed, and Rand was next. Was
And
next
conscious.
conscious of being led back to the hut. Um, do we still have to start home soon?
Home. Why, this is home, son. Here in this clearing where your mother is.
I'm glad. John Rand never recovered mentally from the blow that the falling tree struck him. Though rational in every other respect, he labored under the delusion that the jungle was his home.
His home. Mm.
Together, he and David survived and thrived. His beard became a luxuriant growth. Luxuriant growth. Nice adjective there.
Nice adjective there.
That Czar might have envied.
And
The
you know what
the
word I
lion.
would have used? You know what word I would have used to
What?
describe that beard? Biblical.
Yeah, that would have been another interesting.
Yeah.
Some latent impulse had made John Rand teach his son to read and write, but David preferred playing with his friends to even such simple school.
Mm-mm.
Gotta some notifications coming up here. Playing with his friends to even such simple school kids. Simple schooling. Okay. As David grew older, he liked to roam the forest. He could swim like Nyasa the fish and climb trees like with all the agility of Nono the monkey. He knew now why his father had fired at Njaga and why he killed the green snake. His was the code of the jungle: kill only when necessary. So you see right there, he's learning. He's almost like he's learning, training himself how to use a bow and arrow. Right there, you see that?
Right.
Soon, he learned to talk to the animals with strange guttural sounds, and from that day, he lived a happier life. The jungle lad met Quag, the wild pig, and stayed that beast startled flight with a friendly call. While swimming in the lake, he was in turn startled by a great beast that goes from the shadows, Walla, the hippopotamus. You know, that was a little more difficult for me to read because I know somebody.
I know it was hard. That one was hard to see because of the coloring.
Yeah, the coloring and the red back. I think it might have been Metal who made mention that sometimes some of those red backgrounds can make reading some of those letter boxes a little
It
bit
can.
hard. Yeah. So he had his first view of Traja and longed to ride that great gray back. The Traja the elephant there.
Mm-hmm.
Though he did not know it, David had another companion. Czar kept pace with him as he raced through the jungle. Let's see. A floating speck in the sky brought his eyes upward. He watched Crew, the buzzard, drop towards the earth. Quickly, David ran to where Crew perched in a treetop. The stillness was rent by a blood-curdling roar, that of Czar, and with a note of fear. Rent by a blood. So the stillness was rent by a blood-curdling roar. Going on the context, Terry, what do you think the term means in that context?
In that context, I would say it was cautionary.
All right. The stillness was rent by a blood-curdling roar. You still think that that's cautionary?
Not anymore, but the thing about it is when you use the term rent, it's like how does it? You have to figure out how it fits.
Right. Well, because most people today, when they hear the word rent, they know it means the money you pay to
pay, right?
But obviously, that's not the case here. So they were using rent in another way here. The stillness was rent by a blood curdling roar, that of Czar. I would say that, at least based on the context right there, context clues and all that. In this case, rent would mean like broken. The stillness was broken.
Yeah.
or stopped by. That's what I would think. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that one.
Yeah. Well, the wise monarch of the jungle had erred. He
Mm.
had made a fatal mistake, a fatal misstep, and lay trapped in quicksand.
Ah.
Czar was up to his um, haunches
Haunches.
now, and could not hope to gain solid ground, solid ground, I guess.
Yeah.
David could see the hopeless light in the lion's amber eyes, and could not resist the forlorn appeal. Now, what do you think the term forlorn appeal means in this case?
I'd have to say it's kind of a mixture of desperation and fascination.
All right.
If you're
David.
looking at it from David's point of view, it's a combination of both fascination
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
David,
concern.
I'll read it again. David could see the hopeless light in the lion's amber eyes and could not resist the forlorn appeal. My guess is the forlorn appeal in this case is what they're describing the lion's return look to. David is looking at the lion is looking at David. And I think the forlorn appeal may actually be the look in the lion's eyes.
Yeah.
It's like he's like in a way with his eyes, he's like desperately asking for help. It's like saying with his eyes, "Please help me." That's what I think forlorn appeal means. What do you think of my analysis there, Terry?
Well, after studying the drawing, you're right.
Yeah.
Most people when they read,
Isn't this fun to pick apart? How they
yeah,
write this.
yeah.
It's kind of fun to
Well,
see how they use
most people fail to realize that the drawing is part of the story, and they don't pay attention close enough to the drawing.
And I thank you guys for the likes and shares as well. So JR is here with us. So hail Rick. This art is stylized but much higher quality than most Golden Age. Rent means torn. Well, that's another way of looking at it too,
That's
JR.
another way of looking at it.
The stillness is torn. I rent my shirt on a hook.
On a hook, yeah.
Basically, JR, we were discussing it in the context, trying to figure out what it meant. Because most people, when they hear the word rent, the first thing that comes to mind is the money that you pay a landlord.
Right.
That's why I was asking the question.
Or I pay to occupy a space for time.
Right. So, continuing on with the story here. Desperately, he seized fallen branches and thrust them toward Czar. Inch by inch, Czar drew his tiring body across the tangle of boughs until. So, what do you think is going on here, Terry? Why is he thrusting? Why do you think he's thrusting the boughs? In towards. What do you think? What do you think is happening here?
Well, from what I'm seeing, he's trying his best to climb out. That's why I say that's why I say you have to. That's why I say you have to look at the pictures as well as the text, because the text will only give you half of it. The picture gives you the other half.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the idea here too. Figuring out the text much as possible. Obviously, what I see here is he's using a lot of that wood, a lot of those boughs to give the lion some kind of grounding to claw into
exactly.
get out of the quicksand, because he's in the quicksand, and of course you know that if you get caught in quicksand,
It's saying the more you move,
you sink.
right?
Because there's no ground to go against. There's nothing causing any kind of counterbalance to help lift you. So for a few minutes, Czar lay painting in the tall grass while Shah, his mate, nuzzled close. Czar surveyed the man cub, and there a strange pact of truce was made. So let's look at. So let's see that right there. So look at that.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like, I think, with their eyes, with their facial expressions, are communicating, right?
Right.
At last, he stood free of the clinging sands. So I think I should have read that part first before going. But the way they put this together was a little tricky too.
Yeah.
A week after the rescue of Czar, David and his father were exploring the forest. I smell smoke.
Nonsense. We put our fire out before leaving.
There it is. Swiftly, they traveled through the trees in the direction of the strange smoke. Peering through the branches, they saw a black man squatting before a fire. A short distance away, two other blacks scooped gravel from a stream, watched by a fat white man. Dropping to the ground, Rand stepped into the clearing and walked straight to the group. From their actions, David knew they were arguing and that his father was commanding them to leave. He also saw his father turn slowly on his heels to start back towards the brush. Oh boy. See what's in that next panel there?
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, Paul de Craft, with a heart as greedy as the rolls of fat. Greedy as the rolls of fat. That's a very, very descriptive way of describing, isn't it?
Well, you have to remember that at this time you can call someone a greasy animal and get away with it.
Yeah. That covered his body, raised his gun, and pointed it at Rand's back. Oh, isn't this guy a charmer?
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody's saying anything here. As soon as I can, of course, find the cursor. And Metal's here too. Hey, Metal. Let's see. Elbow Cop. Hey, Metal. Thanks for popping in. And of course, as always, guys, if you guys like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything catches your attention, always feel free to feel free to comment down or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. I know there's got to be more than one person. It's saying one person viewing here, but I know there's got to be more than one person here.
It probably is, because I can come in here and it'll say there's one person viewing, and after someone says something in the comments, then it updates itself.
Yeah, Terry, you still have do you still have the secondary window up on the YouTube screen?
No, I don't.
Okay. I thought you did. But anyway, quickly, David fitted an arrow to his bow. John Rand was aware of a sudden humming beside his ear. And look at that. He just turns his head and dodges a bullet.
Be for real.
Right. In DeCraft's arm, an arrow quivered and the automatic revolver dropped to the ground. So, man, David is a pretty good shot, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I guess that arrow pierced right into a nerve. That the
Made him
nerve.
drop the gun. Made him drop the gun. Yeah.
Yeah, forced him to drop the gun. So, so David and his father silently faded into the jungle. But if David could have seen the devils of hate leering out of DeCraft's eye, interesting. Seeing the devils of hate leering out of DeCraft's eyes. Again, that kind of reminds you of cartoons, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He would have placed another arrow in the man's throat. Whoa.
More than likely, he would have.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand that in this type of storytelling, you're supposed to in a way put yourself in the story.
Yeah. Which is again part of the reason why I, of course, do this. Is to help people put themselves in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Make you feel like you're there.
Right.
You're up, Terry.
The jungle is sacred to your mother. Remember that, son. No one must be allowed to profane it.
Yeah. You notice that people will use the term profanity, but how many times have you heard somebody today use the word profane?
Profane, right. It's one of those words that are rarely used.
Yeah. Its other form, profanity, is used, but
Yeah, but the root word profane is almost never used.
yeah. That night, emeralds. That's what I've stumbled on in this godforsaken stream, and some half-crazed hermit thinks he can order me from here. Magi, go find his camp and see if there are others. In a short while, the native returns. I saw in Kosi the man and boy. No others. They have no guns. Good. That will make it easier. At dawn, David watched the other camp from a high rock. It appeared deserted. Had they obeyed his father and fled in the night? Had they obeyed his father and fled in the night? Cautiously, David approaches the tent, puzzled that they could have left their possessions behind. He fingered the strange articles around the camp. Now, what do you think they mean by fingered here? Because finger could have a number of different connotative meanings here.
In this case, it's more like he saw the strange objects, the strange articles around the camp.
So he's kind of like touching them, getting a feel for them, right? Because fingering could also mean he's trying to steal, but I don't think he'd be trying to steal the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, in this case, he's trying to get to know what this thing is.
Right. Fascinated, the boy studies his reflection in a mirror. He decides to return home to tell his father of the many wonderful things the strangers left behind. A staccato crack pierces the stillness. Staccato crack, okay? I guess that's some kind of sound. David remembers faintly the time his father had fired at Ninjaga and senses danger. So I guess the staccato crack is the sound of a gun firing. Okay,
Right.
a second shot echoes from so staccato may either be the name of the specific gun or just be the term they use for a gun firing. A
Right.
second shot echoes from the direction of his home, and David waits no longer. The hut is afire. David leaps forward with the thought that his father is inside. An object on the ground caught his eye. Rand, shot and painfully wounded, crawled along the ground. Father, what happened? Let's see. Okay. Weakly, Rand mumbles a warning as the boy, with the strength of a grown man, carries his father away from the fire. So the boy with the strength of a man. Okay, so looking at him right here, looking at him, how old would you say he is at this point, Terry?
At this point, I'd have to say he was about between 10 and 13 years old.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that as well. Maybe 10 to 13. Yeah, I could see that. David fails to see a native sneak around the burning shelter. A sharp spear pricked the middle of his back. Before he could act, the crack came on the run from the jungle. The crack laughed at David's threat. Oh, Fat Face has wounded my father, and for that Fat Face shall die. Okay, so I guess the narration in that case should have been after. Spunky, huh? But you're wrong, kid. I don't want any witnesses to this party, and I'm going to kill you, see? As David bent to grasp a knife at his father's side, the cracked gun whipped up. Dead men tell no tales. Another spectator watched the grim drama Czar. Oh boy. This is getting interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roaring, Czar burst into the clearing. The craft escapes. That lion will finish the job for me. Will he now? Look, Czar. Look, Czar has killed 2 of them and driven Fatface away.
Too late, son. I'm dying.
With the death of his father, David was alone in the jungle. At twilight, he lingered in the clearing, where his home was a head of ashes, a heap of ashes. Czar sensed the grief of the boy who once saved his life, and with a low guttural call, stepped into the clearing. In the language of the beast, Czar invited the boy to share his cave. He said that from that day on, David would be known as K-Czar, brother of Czar the Mighty. And so the strange pair strode off through the jungle side by side to begin a new life for the son of John Rand. More adventures of K-Czar in the next issue.
Mike, you want to know? You want to know what's funny?
What?
Young David's abilities started to develop about a few days after they had crash landed in the jungle.
Yeah, that's a very interesting.
It was like he was meant to be there.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perception there, Terry. We're just of course, going down. I'm getting back up top to where I can take in the next. We're gonna now go to Marvel Mystery Comic number 2 and read the Kazar story from there.
Characters like Kazar are fun to write.
What was that?
I said characters like Kazar are fun to write.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting and engaging story, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because given the setting, you don't have to complicate things.
Right. You don't have to make any like editorial
Right.
like you don't have or throw in your own beliefs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So actually, before I get started on this one here, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So if you want to talk to everybody, maybe share your before I do go, let's see what
let's see what everyone has to say.
Metal. Let's see. What's your favorite Warship Down 1978? Don't have one. What's your favorite Castle Warren? Don't even know what that is. Did you watch Overload? No.
No Overlord? No, I didn't.
What's your favorite reactor for Dosami? I have no idea.
I have no clue about that one either.
Opinion of the show, Black Clover, and is it a No, I actually like Black Clover. Black
Clover's all right.
Yeah. Anyways,
But
Terry,
you have to.
I'm going to step away for a moment. So if you want to also go on to the chat and also want to share any links or anything like that, talk to everybody, maybe give people a little bit more of your impressions on at least the first story there we read before we. I'm going to step away for a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to say this: the way Kazar came into his abilities was a little more. I don't know. How can I put this? A little more hyperactive than in what would happen in a traditional Tarzan story. Hey, hold on a minute. Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, I'm back. One more. What's your favorite sillage? I have no idea what that is either. Anyway, so I'm back now, so we'll probably get started. So look at the cover here, and then as always, guys, if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Also, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. I will try to answer the questions. best of my ability. We're coming up on an hour now. Now, normally I slate about 2 hours for the show here. We might, because of the material, because of the volume of material we'll be covering tonight. We may be going a little longer tonight, just to let everybody know. Um, so, anyways, let's get ready to move on here. So, 64 pages of action, mystery, adventure, Marvel mystery comics. Cover date December, 10 cents, 64 pages in full color. Oh, look at that. If that's supposed to be Fire Mask right there, oh man. Especially with what we were reading earlier, Terry, huh? Oh wait, no, that's not Fire Mask. Actually, that's not Fire Mask because that's somebody else. Because Fire Mask is in Daring Mystery Comics, not this one. So, oh, look at this. This is interesting. So this is Timely Comics, and yet they actually have they have an ad for Silver Street Comics, which was actually from another company. It wasn't part of Timely's. It was, I think, part of part of let's see, was it Archie or no, Lev Gleason, I believe. So now there's the Human Torch that was based on the android, but I'm not going to read that story. But it will still flash through so you guys can see the art there. What do you think of the art there, Terry? Terry? I guess Terry's away from his computer now. Terry, you there? I guess he's tending. It sounds like he's tending to his, because he's got his nieces and nephews over. I guess. Terry. Angel.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
I didn't even know you were really gone until everything all right there. It sounds like there's a little bit of stuff going on. I guess.
I'll have to let someone in.
Heard something about like I'm not doing anything.
Well, that's my grandniece.
The granted, granted, I didn't think. Well, maybe I should have realized that, but it didn't dawn on me you could be a grand uncle or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are, Mariner, and you see how he's drawn right there. This is by Bill Everett, of course.
Oh man, the classic Bill Everett style. I love it.
Yeah, Bill Everett, who also gave us Amazing Man and Amazing Man comics at Centaur as well.
Yes.
And there's Namor right there. It looks like. The Submariner, young prince of the odd race of amphibians, lives on land, sea, and in the air. Ventures for the first time to America to wage a war of espionage against the white man. Wow, quite descriptive there, huh? I'm actually gonna turn on the lighting here, so I'm gonna go off camera one more time here, real quick, before
Okay.
continue here, just because the sun is starting to go down a little bit more, so I think it's a good time to put some more light on in here for help.
You do know that when DC stole the idea of for Aquaman, they dropped the part where he could fly.
Actually, I did not know that they stole the idea of Aquaman from anybody, but I do
They
know.
did.
You remember
They stole it.
wings
They,
Mercury?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. They stole the idea of Aquaman from Namor. The only thing they did to differentiate Namor and Aquaman was that fact that Namor could fly.
yeah. Namor dies from a stolen plane. Along uncharted lanes through the subsea, he spurts, but is
What is
what
it?
is his destination? Rising suddenly to the surface, he gazes spellbound at New York City's skyline. Cautiously, he swims about the harbor, investigating. Puzzled, he views the docks and looks with wonder at a highly illuminated, solid-looking building on the water's edge. As he slowly treads water, he suddenly
Feels.
feels himself being sucked down and forward, faster and faster toward a building.
Oh,
With superhuman strength. What's uh-oh? Oh.
now the drain pipe that he's being sucked into.
With superhuman strength, Namor fights the irresistible current, but to no avail. He is pulled rapidly into a great tube. Dazed, Namor continues to struggle violently. With semi-conscious logic, he stretches his huge arms, bracing them against the walls of the tube. Wow. Straining, he changes position. So he's using the wall. It seems to be using the walls as almost like a fulcrum or something like that,
Yeah.
or a way to counterbalance. And with a terrific shove, he's through. And look at that, he just explodes right out of the pipe. And look at that, they're all probably looking, what in the world? A geyser of water bursts into the powerhouse under the submariner's gigantic push.
Did you notice something in these first few panels, Mike?
What?
This is a science lesson for elementary school kids.
You want to explain to everybody who may not be picking up on that?
No, in elementary school, I'd say around the second or third grade, you start learning about the simple machines and how they work, how to use a fulcrum, and what to use as a fulcrum.
Comics were definitely educational back then, weren't they?
They were, but it was so hidden that no one picked up on it.
Yeah, things you can learn from comics, right?
Yeah, this is why everyone says that Marvel comics are so science based.
Oh yeah, and I've seen a few other features that, like one of the features I've read from Centaur Comics before. Dean Denton's Science Detective, right? They talk a little bit about the idea of him using science to solve, certain, whatever his adventure.
Right.
Anyways, panic spreads through the powerhouse. Valves are hurriedly turned to stop the rush of water. And catapulted high into the girders, Namor looks down on the scene of excitement. Let's see. You want to do that guy right there?
Look, who's that? What's he doing up there?
Frightened by their discovery of him, he gets to his feet, but trips on a live wire. The shock infuriates him. Oh boy!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh! Oh, look at that! Look at that huge swing he just took! Ouch!
Right.
Wow! So maddened by this, thinking it one of the engineer's tricks to destroy him, he rips a girder from its rivets and hurls it with gigantic force to the startled crowd below him. That's got to be something. You have this crazy guy up top there who just rips a girder right off and just
Right.
throws that. That's got to be a hellacious thing.
No, look at the description of the motion that he used to rip it up.
Maddened by this, thinking it one of the engineers' tricks to destroy him, he rips a girder from its rivets and hurls it with gigantic force to the startled below him. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to put him in this freezer. It is. All right. But like I said, the way they describe the swing, the way he threw that girder, using the term gigantic, it's like they're trying to measure the amount of force.
Right. I mean, you kind of have to like how a lot of these art. Well, granted, Everett's done work in other books too, but you have to like how a lot of these guys back in this time were using adjectives. Girder upon girder, Namor hurls at the machinery, and the engineers below him, wreaking terrible havoc. That's a phrase you see a lot in comics, don't you? Wreaking havoc or wreaking terrible havoc.
Yeah.
That's quite a term you see a lot in comics.
And most of these, I'm telling you, most of these adjectives are used to describe a measurement of something.
Yeah. Rick says here, yeah, a trick from the engineers, yet they didn't know he was coming and only saw his moments. Him, I think you're supposed to you mean him moments before, but
But the thing is, it's like it's fun. This is where the humor comes in, and the way time they did it, it was funny because it's like it's unexpected humor.
Yeah, I mean, plus what you have to think about it. And this is something that Rick and I talked quite a bit about when we read the previous Namor story, right? One man's villain's another man's hero, right? Because he's him wanting to, as they said at the beginning of the story here, wage war of espionage on America is because he's been taught that his people have been tormented and hurt by the surface dwellers.
Yeah.
Now,
well, if you think about it,
fully true.
the way the surface dwellers act, it can't be viewed as a threat.
Mm-hmm. So anything that happens here, anything negative that happens, he's going to think that it's one of their tricks to try to hurt me or try to defeat me, and I'm just not going to. Faster and faster, his great strength demolishes the plant. So then abruptly he stops and dives through a window, just as the roof caves in. Soaring above the city, he flies over a park, Central Park and spots a body of water. Desiring to be in his natural element again, he drops with the speed of a bullet. Break! Break!
Well, most of you don't know that police officers, especially beat cops, carried whistles to grab the attention of would-be wrongdoers.
Right. But the alarm is out all over the city. Sirens are screaming, and on the lake shore, a patrolman sees Namor plunge into the water. He whistles. Namor disregards the warning. Oh, look at that. He's trying to shoot at the guy. Disregards the warning and draws fire from the policeman. Bullets rang out over the water. Now look at that. It almost looks like the way they're drawing it right there. It almost looks like the bullet barely misses the sole of his foot right there. You see that?
Yeah.
They have at least one of the bullets with the trajectory. It's almost like
it skimmed his foot.
All of the foot right there.
It skimmed his foot, then hit the water, then bounces off the water like a pebble.
Yeah. That's another thing too. You're right. and ricochet on the surface. Namor dives below, but is curious about the little pellets that come so swiftly from
shore.
With amazing speed, he reaches into the air and stops a .38 caliber bullet. Wow.
Yeah.
That's Superman-esque, isn't it?
Well, in the water, he is bulletproof, so.
Yeah. Below surface again, he examines the little piece of lead, amused at the thought that such an infinitesimal. Again, you have to like the adjectives they use here. Okay, Terry, you want to explain to everybody what infinitesimal means in this context?
In this context, this object is so small that you can just ignore it.
Right. You just have to love how they use adjectives here, right?
This is why you gotta love the storytelling of the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s.
Yeah. Because I mean, this is definitely the type of stuff you could use in a classroom.
Exactly. And without the drawings, you already have a picture of what the scene looks like from the text.
Right. Infinitesimal pebble could hope to harm him. Well, if he was above surface and the pebble went into, he wouldn't probably think it was quite so infinitesimal.
Right.
Anyway, then with fierce sudden anger. Oh wait, are we? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm reading in the right order.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in the right order.
Then, with fierce sudden anger, he seizes the rowboat containing policemen and oarsmen and capsizes it. Like a flash, he breaks the surface and rockets high in the air, headed for a group of trees bordering Fifth Avenue. Now, the thing about Marvel, too, even going back to Kindly here, it was all, now granted, in DC, they started out with real settings, too, but then eventually adopted their own, their own slightly larger universe by creating such cities as Metropolis and at DC. Marvel always kind of kept the real locales here. Let's see. Soaring beyond the avenue, he comes to the East River and drops unobtrusively into it. Coming to an aperture in the sea wall, he hoists himself up to it to find himself in a sewer outlet. Aperture, what do you think aperture means in this case?
An opening.
Yeah, an opening. Proceeding inward, he enters a labyrinth of sewage tunnels, and comes upon a pensive tramp. Wow, so enters a labyrinth of sewage tunnels. That's got to be an interesting thing to walk through, huh?
Yeah. Howdy, Tarzan. What brings you here?
Huh. Hey, that even reference Tarzan here.
Well, they do it because of the way.
These are being a ripoff of Tarzan too.
No. The thing is, they do it because of the way he's dressed.
Yeah, I get that. But, I fail to see where that's any business of yours.
Oh, come now, champ. Don't get tough about it. Who do I think? Yeah.
I think it's who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Never mind that. Just be quiet and do as I say. Take off those clothes.
Sure, pal.
Anyway. So some 20 minutes later, a raid in the
unfortunate
tramp's garments. Namor searches for an exit. He walks several blocks and sees light coming from above. He climbs a narrow steel ladder and pushes upward a manhole cover. Now, those things are normally pretty sealed, so it's like, oh boy, but of course, this is a big city, so
right.
We already see what's happening now. If not for the next panel, I would have asked, what do you think is going to happen next year? But they give it away too quickly here. Emerging into the middle of Fifth Avenue. Let's see. Speeding across the street, he miraculously escapes disaster and avoids the attention of the police. Down a side street he runs. Realizing his need for more suitable clothing, he chooses a likely-looking house in the 80s and prepares to enter. 80s. I guess that's back then addresses were like probably single and double digit at that point, I think.
No, he's somewhere on 80th Street.
Oh. Okay. Is your master in? I must see your master at once. You want to do the butler right there?
I'll be the butler. Yeah, I'll be the butler. Well, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, you're the butler.
Yeah, I said well, what?
And then the next panel, or the panel.
I'm not. No, it's pointed at Namor. That's why I was waiting for you to say.
Okay, but I say you can't use this
No, wrong panel.
No, I already said that.
Oh, okay. That's
It is
no,
your
no.
master. I already said that.
Okay, now we caught it. But I say, you can't use this door. The service entrance, sir, is for the likes of you. I must ask you to leave immediately.
Oh boy. Let's see. Again, I do the women because I just let him come in, Pinkerton. He looks all right. Pinkerton, my dress help. Oh, then suddenly, as the cigarette touches her skirt, and look at that, you see what the kind of cigarette she's got. Now back, I know it was more popular back then. I think it still is in some more wealthier areas. But you see that long stick in her hand. You kind of see how she
that's a cigarette holder. Yeah.
Right there. That's what they used back then.
Mm-hmm.
Namor, never having come in contact with fire in his undersea existence, doesn't realize its danger. He leaps, and as he reaches the fainting girl, his own clothes are enveloped in flames. But uncannily, the heat brings forth stored up water in his system, and his entire body acts as a sprinkler. Water spouts from his pores and drenches both himself and the unconscious girl. Now imagine that kind of power, right? Imagine, okay, your pores open up and all of a sudden water comes out. You can actually put out a fire with the water that's in your pores. Wow, that's kind of different. And look at that. He's still the water's still coming out of it. The smoke is starting to dissipate. He's got the girl in his arms right there.
Well, this is one of Namor's.
Where's the charger? Come on. Here. Well, she wants to watch the Netflix or something. I don't have it. Can she use your other phone as a charge?
Jerry, do your roommates or whoever they are know that they're on a podcast right now?
Hold up.
I can hear two women in the background there. Jerry, are you there or are you talking to somebody?
I'm here.
Okay. This next line is yours. The one that starts great grief right there. That's the butler.
Great grief. Sir, what happened? Where did the water come from?
This is no time for questioning, stupid. This woman needs medical attention. Call a physician. So yeah, he may be at war with them, but he doesn't seem to be as
He doesn't hate them. He doesn't hate them as one might think. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. While Pinkerton telephones, Namor discards his wet clothing and wraps himself in a silk curtain. So he took one of the curtains off their walls. I must not be found here when the servant returns. But there is something about this girl I do not like. Something about this girl. I do not like to leave her. Yet I must. The butler is coming. I shall return later. There are riches to be found in this house. I don't know, though. On second thought, I want that girl. Oh boy! Namor leaps to the front of the building, where he sees attendants carrying the girl into the street. He dives to the top of the ambulance, where he crouches as it races through the traffic siren screaming.
People sure get excited over an accident, don't they, Tom?
You said
Hey, officer, look.
Look at that. He's leaving from the. Oh, wow. The power of his leap apparently was so strong that he looks like he's tipping over the ambulance there. You
Ambulance. Yeah. Yeah. Especially around that corner.
Say, Doc, did you see something dark flash over us when we drove up here?
Nonsense, Tom. You've been seeing things.
Stand quietly, everyone, or I shall kill you all. Whoa.
Oh.
Hey! I said quietly, you fool.
Oh, Tom.
I think that's the nurse, actually.
Oh, that is the nurse. Oh, Tom.
You decided to do the woman this time, huh?
I had to try it.
That will ensure you're being quiet for a while. This girl will be useful to me in my crusade against you murderous Americans. Wow, what a damning statement right there. You murderous Americans.
Well, given the time that you have to remember, at the same period, prohibition was coming to an end. Also, so being a murderous American was common. And Namor's the only character that could get away with this language because he's not an American.
Yeah. Namor, not realizing that the American girl cannot live underwater, speeds with her through the air to the waterfront. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Death's folly.
Screen is freezing for some reason.
Death's folly. The murder. The imbeciles have seen me. I have careless.
No, what?
Look! A man flying in the sky.
He's carrying something.
And he's heading south. From the hospital, the alarm is out. Once again, police, cars, and motorcycles roar through the city. They follow the Demon Submariner's sky trail to New York's Battery.
They're going to Battery Park.
Now you're on the East Coast, aren't you, Terry?
No, I'm actually in the Midwest. I've been to New York, and I've heard some of the common nicknames for these places.
On a lonely dock near the Battery, Namor's colossal strength
Absorbs the shock.
There is not much time. I hear the police coming. So he knows what the police are now, I guess.
Yeah.
This is interesting because, I don't know, at least in this version, this early version, I don't know if he had much knowledge of things like police. Well, they might have had, you would have thought that maybe in his own country they might have been called like sentries
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, sort of.
Yeah, they would have been called sentries or something similar to police officers.
Yeah. You want to do the officer there?
There he is,
There he is.
Sarge. We got him now. It's that nut that wrecked the power plant, Sarge.
Let him have it, but be careful of the girl. Bah, fools! Don't you know that your measly little pellets only tickle me?
This is what makes Marvel Marvel. Mike, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is what makes Marvel Marvel. You can always pull a one. There's always an opening for a one-liner somewhere.
What do you think the one-liner here in this case is for?
It's just to tell them that they're wasting their time.
Yeah. Their bullets merely mashing against the submariner's alligator tough flesh. That's another interesting attribute to have. Alligator tough flesh.
And here we go with the education. Here we go with the educational part again. The skin of an alligator and a crocodile are very tough.
Yeah. The cordon of police falls back astounded. With a surge of maniacal fury, Namor straight arms the stunned policemen and makes for the nearest car. Wow, kind of like a football player, huh?
Yeah.
As if it were but a toy, he picks it up and hurls it at the law officers, killing them and scattering them about. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Imagine having that as the last thing you see before you die.
Exactly.
Half-naked man throwing a car at you. I gotta see it.
No,
Saying something about
no. It wouldn't have been bad if the guy was fully clothed. But you have a half-naked man throwing a car at you that weighs three, if not four times as much as he does.
So I just checked my YouTube screen and it says the chat was disconnected and successfully connected. So
Okay.
it's okay now, it looks like, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some fun stuff, isn't it, Terry?
It's always fun because the unexpected one-liners and the crazier than expected situations that always pop up.
And all the adjectives they use.
Mm-hmm. This is a great learning tool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who wants to learn English can use this.
Yeah. Once again, Namor seizes the unconscious girl. But two officers who escaped the fate of the others arise from the wreck. Namor leaps from the dock with the girl in tow. Oh boy. The cops, still groggy, follow courageously. Namor releases the girl. and turns to meet his assailant. Look at that. The second cop dives for the drowning girl. With ease, the submariner does away with his opponent and look about for the girl. But she is on her way to safety in the arms of the almost exhausted policeman.
Thank heaven you got. Oh, you want to? You go ahead. Okay. Thank heaven you got it. Yeah, Lieutenant. I'm afraid we've lost Foley, but we can still save the girl.
It's positively uncanny about that lunatic. What is he anyway? He lives in the water like a fish, flies like a bird, and has the strength of 100 elephants. And so only a few bubbles on the water surface show where the submariner was last seen. Where will he turn up next? And will he continue his evil deeds? Watch for the next episode. So
This is why they thought he was a villain at first.
right.
This is why everyone thought he was a villain at first.
And you notice even the writers were saying, this villain, calling him a villain.
Right.
But it's done more out of the idea of, he's going to war against the people who hurt his people. So
Right.
anyways, to speed things along, I usually would just show you the rest of the pages just as a, just so you can look at them. But to kind of speed things along here, because I know we're already at, I think, an hour 45 already. I did say we'd go over, so go more.
Well, it looks like my niece is not going to let me finish this. So we can. How long is the next story?
Well, okay. The next two stories are like these first two were 12 pages each. The next two are like 10 and 11. So
Okay.
try to stick around as long as and we've already figured out when you'd next be here, which is I think so. At least there won't be as much transitional time in between because between the next two stories because they're both in the same book. They're both from Daring Mystery Comics. But I'll try to quick read it a little bit more. Just may mean we may not get as much. I just want to make sure we got these in. So for
now, I get where video game companies got the idea to hide teaching tools in video games. It's an old trick that has been done many times in comics.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so I'll read a couple of, and this scan actually looks quite good. Look at how bright that is. Daring Mystery.
Oh man.
Thrilling adventures of the fiery mask, man of mystery in action. So I guess there he is right there. And look at that. They got the girl tied on the hood of the car right there.
You remember the old silent movies where they used to tie a girl to a train track?
Yeah.
That's what
In fact, I was kind of watching some random classic cartoons on YouTube the other day and saw that same scenario in a Mighty Mouse cartoon.
Mighty Mouse, Underdog, and one other I can't think of the name of it was notoriously famous for that one.
Yeah. Snidely Whiplash, that's the name of the character.
That's who it was. That's who it was.
The Fiery Mask, Chapter 1, A Complete Story, the fantastic thriller of the Walking Corpses by Joe Simon. Now, this one was created by Joe Simon of Kirby and Simon fame.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get going here. Jack Castle, a young physician, is called to the office of Police Captain Benson to analyze a strange case when the Ray.
Go,
Oh.
go,
You want
go ahead.
to do that guy? You want to do that guy?
Nah, you do it. You do it. You beat me to it.
All right. The Ray, the master commands.
That fantastic green light. Where is it coming from?
Look out, he's coming to life.
Who does this creature remind you of?
Green, maybe the Incredible Hulk.
Close. Go.
You will do. The master shall have you too.
That light, it paralyzes me.
Take that, you poor devil. You'll be better off dead. The doctor, he will be angry. Look out for the Ray. I am glad. He's done for.
I can't understand it, Captain. He didn't have sleeping sickness or any disease known to science. Yet, he just kept standing and staring as if he were not alive. That face, so green.
That's why I called you, Doctor. This is no ordinary case. The man was Peter Johnson, a harmless tramp until he disappeared last year. Yeah. So guess what? You get to be the hero in this story because I think the doctor right there, that's Jack Castle. That's fiery guy becomes fiery next. Oh. I must have your help on this case. The man committed a crime, murder, but it seems there is some evil force back on it as well. Some man-made disease of the mind, perhaps.
And these 8 persons missing, maybe they tie in. I'll take care of the case. I'll take the case, brother.
All right. Let me see here. All right. I think we go to the right first and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the arrow. You see the arrows right there.
Yeah.
That's for you.
I have a hunch that the missing persons will lend to the solution. I have a list of their hangouts. They were mostly all bums.
Who Centino ain't seen him in a month. 7, $2 open. Nah, he ain't been in for weeks. Owes me 6 bits too.
Golly, I'm up a tree. Say, I've got an idea. Headquarters, I'd like to examine the electric bills of the waterfront section. Are there any that seem, well, unusually high?
I'll get you the records, and you can talk to the meter readers if you like. Let me see.
This old ramshackle house having such a large electricity bill sounds fishy. Hey, open up. I've been knocking for hours.
Quiet, fool! You make noise enough to awaken the dead.
I'm from the power company. Come to read the meters. By all the saints, the same dead-looking face.
Come in. You are just in time. Right, let me see that.
Wonder what he means. I'm just in time. Hey, what's the idea?
The doctor will be happy. You called. It will save us a trip tonight.
You should have escalators, my friend.
Silence, fool. Jack is led through a fake panel in the kitchen, down a maze of winding stairways, past rows of lifelike bodies that seem to twitch now and then. Down, down, down.
This beautiful girl. She is almost dead like the others. But why is she in change?
The girl is a new experiment. She must undergo more treatments than the others. Her willpower is harder to break down. But enough of your useless questions. We have lost a patient, and the doctor will be glad to see you.
I see. So the doc employs the powers of hypnotism. I'm anxious to see these experiments.
Let's see. As he passes the girl, Jack is touched by a half warning, half appealing look in her eyes.
Get buzzards.
They descend into a lower chamber where a great flock of giant creatures soar up. Now go.
Get buzzards.
No, our own breed. They take care of the useless ones. Come quickly. And
This is the first time I had to fight my way into a trap. You gotta look.
This one's an easier and quicker read because everything's a lot more brighter than before and the other comic.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it is.
yeah, so Master, I bring a patient to replace Peter. Fool! This man, he is police.
It's incredible the size.
Oh, they finally halt at the entrance. Fantastic. All right, so I kind of went in a weird way there, but need a reader. This is no reader. Oh, I see. Because went here and then back up there. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I don't feel like anything much now.
let's see. All right.
Go down to the next and then go over.
Yeah. You came to kill me, didn't you?
If necessary.
Let's see. Idiot. You shall become a patient. You have come alone. That was a mistake. You are fortunate you shall be one of my living corpses. Jack is strapped to an operating table. Underneath all kinds of queerly shaped tubes, bulbs, and wires. And we do this a lot because queerly, in this particular case, Terry, what does queerly mean?
Queerly? In this particular case, it means something. It's almost strange.
Right. Strange.
What we call weird. Yeah.
Unlike how it's used today.
Right.
I always like to point that out. Just
Mm-hmm.
how a term was used back then compared to how it's used today.
It's used now. Right.
Yeah. Under the influence of the light, you will be sent out to do my missions. You will kill those who get in my way and help make me conqueror of the world. Oh, we got another megalomaniacal villain here, huh?
No, but you know what the fun part about these villains are?
What?
They teach you a lot without even trying.
Yeah, that's you can say that.
And look, especially the way they enunciate every word when they give these overbearing speeches.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so you're up there.
You got me wrong, Professor. I'm not a cop. I am a doctor, interested in your experiments.
Doctor, huh? I am thousands of years ahead of your doctors. I have captured the elements. The wind, the storm, the lightning. I need to go off camera for just a quick moment here. I'll be right back. We gotta take care of something here real quick. I'll be
Okay. This is when comics were comics. The only thing missing from this show is this program was sponsored by. Mm-mm-mm.
sorry about that. My nose is giving me grief.
Your nose is doing you a great injustice, we know.
Oh, anyways, so here we go. My grotesque size made me ashamed to go out in the daylight. For 50 years, I have made my own sunshine and darkness too. I make death live. Now, what have you to say before you become my fortunate patient?
You know who this guy reminds me of?
Who?
Ming the Merciless.
Oh, the guy in green?
Yeah.
Oh.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I think you're screwy. Sure enough.
Ha! You make fun. We shall see. The enraged doctor pulls a series of switches. The strange tubes and bulbs come to life, crackling, sputtering. A bright green ray beats down on Jack unmercifully. He seems to feel sleepy, but musters all his willpower to stay awake.
Sorry to disappoint you, Doc, but it's not going to work this time.
You are mad. It always works.
Can-
Okay, I'm trying to see where that. I don't know. Why? Why? You do not sleep like the other. Why?
I happen to understand hypnosis, Professor. Those poor souls you put under your spell were all weak-minded. Were all weak-minded bums. Now you have made a mistake. My willpower is stronger than your warped mind. I refuse to submit. It's all very simple.
Wow. Again, a great education here, huh?
Exactly.
So, in a rage, the mad doctor sends his machinery into full power. The din is terrific, the light unbearable. Fool, you shall see. I will turn on more power than anyone has had before. More! More! Suddenly, there comes a blinding deafening blast. Everything seems to explode. Jack feels a searing pain as though he were struck by all the elements. He seems to be on fire.
Funny, I should be dead, but,
As suddenly as it happened, everything dies down, everything but a bright glow from Jack's body. Da 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 da! What do you
I
think is
feel
happening
strong.
here, Terry?
I feel stronger and better than I ever did before. Oh, the girl.
What do you think happened right there?
Well, in the words of Adam, Prince of Eternia, fabulous secret powers were revealed to me.
Yeah. Yep. I think we got the birth of a hero right there.
Yep.
But the powerful scientist is unharmed. Enraged, he swoops down on Jack. With my bare hands, I will kill you. You have ruined my laboratory.
Well, I'll die fighting anyway. Well, I'll be.
To his great amazement, Jack finds himself possessed of unbelievable strength. Oh, I think that tail's going towards you.
Yeah. Why, I can pick him up like a piece of paper. The place is on fire. I'd better get out of here. The girl. How to get now to get the chains off? Why, they melt when I pull on them.
Where am I? I seem to awaken.
Look, I blew at the birds, and they dashed to the ceiling.
The doctor had had harnessed the elements. When the explosion occurred, the electrical power must have surged through your body, along with the ray of living death, and created a complete chemical change, giving you untold strength.
Wow.
Yeah, trying to. I think she's on the. Look out! The roof is caving in.
Say, this comes in handy. Wonder what the broad jump record is.
In amazement, Jack and the girl are catapulted high above the crumbling house.
Okay, scroll it up so I can see who's talking.
Yeah, I did just roll it back up.
Oh, okay. Now that you're home, you've a lot of resting to do.
But will I ever see you again?
Who can tell?
On, and I don't even know his name. Look at that! You can tell her dress is partly torn there too. You see that?
Right. Yeah. Why is it the girls always fall in love with the heroes?
Reminds me of the Phil Collins David Crosby song that they
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
back in the 80s. That night, Jack phones for a secret meeting with Captain Benson. Why, man, your face, it appears to be sparkling.
It feels strange indeed. I think I can explain. And that's the whole story. It seems that I now possess within my body all the power of the wind, the rain, the storm, even the sunlight. Think of all the good I can do with these powers, all the needy people I can help. I will devote my life to such a task.
Wow, again, they made the heroes very classy here with that kind of stuff, right?
hmm The thing is, this is where the disconnect usually comes, and Marvel figures that out later on. Because
What
most of
what
these guys,
disconnect is that? What disconnect is that?
well, instead of deciding to use these newfound powers for good, they selfishly use them to get more money, get rich, and other things.
But your face, when you get angry, it flares. Oh, it flares up as if a fire.
I've thought of that also. I'll wear a costume and a mask. And a mask too. The world will learn to fear the fiery mask.
And there we go. And so is born the fiery mask, striking terror. Look at that. Look at that mask right there.
Right.
Striking terror into the hearts of the wicked and bringing hope to the needy. Follow the amazing adventures of the fiery mask. And so now we're going to go down real. So I guess your niece went to sleep already?
She's probably watching television in the other room.
Oh, so she's not bugging you now, so you can actually
Yeah.
finish up here with me. Monaco, Prince of Magic by Larry Antoinette.
He looks almost like Mandrake.
Well, I think Mandrake,
Minus
whether
the
it's
mask,
Mandrake
minus
or
the
Zatara
mask,
or
minus
Monaco.
the mustache, rather.
Yeah, well, I think this was almost like an archetype they used for magicians.
Yeah.
A speeding car is bearing down rapidly on an unsuspecting girl crossing the street. Quick as a flash, Monaco gestures, and the girl suddenly seems to be crossing a bridge over the street. Wow.
What the?
Oh. Monaco, you saved my life again. You're always just in time. Josie, I didn't know it was you. How lucky. A sinister face peers from the car. You wanna do this, guy?
Hurry, Cashew. Drive on. Hold up.
It's my old enemy. There's still more to that board bubble.
I know. It's my old enemy, Monaco.
The car speeds off, but not fast enough. Oh, not he. I see my old friend Mr. Miro is in town. That spells trouble. You must help me, Monica. My brother Al has perfected a new powerful explosive for the government. Miro learned of it and plans to kidnap Al, force the secret formula from him, and keep him captive. Miro trailed me here and tried to run me down to stop me from warning my brother. Quick, to the taxi. Meanwhile, Mr. Miro and his henchmen stealthily approach Al's house. So, kind of funny and kind of a rare occasion here. One of the hero's arch enemies is already introduced, like right off the bat here.
I know.
Oh.
This is it. Careful. No noise. There he is in the study. Quick, while he's alone.
We do fast job, boss. Now, I have burned all the formula papers. No one can steal it. And only I know the secret. Tomorrow I shall make some for the Oh! Breaking loose, Al swings and knocks one of the thugs across the room. But another jumps on his back. A terrific struggle ensues. Oh! Al is down for a moment. Miro rushes in with a small needle in his hand and injects a drug into Al's arm.
Hey, Mike, hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. And we'll pause in the reading here a bit. Just it was one of those great stories. I probably shouldn't sing that. I don't really think I would get busted, but since I'm not making any money on this video anyways, but probably better safe than sorry. So hopefully everybody's enjoying the show thus far and getting a good education out of it. Look at all the adjectives a lot of these comics used back then. That was kind of interesting. So anyways, I hope everybody's having a good. Hope everybody's preparing for a good weekend. Hope everybody will have. As we're waiting for Terry to come back, he's attending some family affairs, I guess. Yeah, so we've had quite an interesting. We've had a jungle story. We got the story of Submariner, an amphibious hero villain, depending upon how you wish to look at it. We've had a guy develop superpowers, a doctor develop superpowers, and we have a magician here. So quite an eclectic cast of characters. As we're all waiting for Terry to come back, we're getting, I guess, a little bit more into some aspects of his personal life as we're getting to hear conversations he's having with his housemates. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, we're just sorry, folks. We're just waiting for Terry to come because he's the voice of Mr. Miro here. That's why we're kind of stopped.
Okay.
All right, yeah, there must have been a lot going on there because I was
Yeah.
You're Mr. Miro, so that's why I had to wait for you to come back.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. Yeah, so I hope everybody's been enjoying the content here. I'm sorry that we've been kind of going on dead air here just because of sometimes things happen though. I hope everybody's enjoyed the content.
Okay. I'm
back
sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back.
That's kind of a lengthy absence there.
Yeah.
All right, so you're Mr. Morrow, and you're up
Yeah.
here. So.
There. That drug will keep him quiet for a while. Hurry into the car with him. The luck of the devils. He has burnt all the papers. Quick to our secret chambers before Monaco finds our trail.
As Monaco nears Al's home, another car speeds away. That looks like Mr. Miro's car. Here's $50, cabbie. Follow that black car. Yes, sir. Come, Josie. We'll go into the house and see about Al. I sent my vision in the cab to follow Mr. Miro. Astral projection of himself, basically.
Yeah.
Everything's upside down, and Al is gone. Yes, we're too late. Your brother must have put up a wonderful fight by the looks of this room. We'll stay here and wait for my vision to report. Meanwhile, in the cab, hot dog, 50 smackers. I'd be crazy to waste my time following that car. I'll never see that guy again anyway. Oh, boy.
Oh, my. Oh, what a tangled web.
Yeah, when we practice to deceive. But Monica's vision thinks differently. Hurry, cabbie. We're losing precious time. Follow that car. What the? I just left you back 2 blocks at a house. Come, cabbie. Must I drive myself? Get going. Gee, I can see right through that guy in the back seat. Imagine driving a ghost around.
Among other things.
Yeah, among other things. Oh, you know what I was saying? Because I know earlier, I know when I was gone the first time, I was just remembering something here. When you were talking about, how Kazar developed his powers, going back to the Kazar thing for a quick moment.
Yeah.
That could have been an early example, even though the concept would come about later in Marvel Comics. That could have been an early example of mutancy.
Yeah, they could have been.
Yeah. They may not have had the angle all worked out yet for it, but well, we know that, David Rand may have had an X gene that allowed him the ability to communicate with animals.
Very true.
Anyways, Monaco concentrates to make contact with his vision. Suddenly, a scene with Monaco's vision flashes on the wall. Oh. Oh, actually, I should have gone down here first, I think. The scene on the wall continues as Monaco's vision silently follows. Oh, okay. Actually, no, I guess I had it right in the first one. Suddenly,
You had it right.
with Monaco's vision flashes on the wall. Oh, this is it, Cabby. Whew. Am I glad to get rid of that ghost? The scene on the wall continues as Monaco's vision follows Mr. Mirror. Oh, maybe not. Kind of hard to tell sometimes with the way they put these panels together.
I know.
Rounding a corner, the vision suddenly comes upon Mr. Miro. Look, Miro has kidnapped my brother. Shh. Let's see what happens. The vision steps in their path. Stop! Release this man. Taken by surprise, Miro's guard whips out a knife and throws for the vision. I fix, boss. But the knife passes through the vision and sticks into the wall. The guard's eyes pop. Good ghost!
Fool, that's just one of Monaco's tricks. Quick, through this door, nothing can penetrate this wall, not even a vision.
The vision is left locked out. That's as far as my vision can go. The scene on the wall vanishes. You stay here until you hear from me. I'm going after Mr. Miro. Monaco makes a searching study of the impregnable door. I'll tie this little rope ladder here. And discovers a vital flaw. In a flash of light, Monaco shrinks to a tiny figure. Oh, look at that. And scurries up the rope ladder to the one opening the keyhole. Now, through the keyhole and down into the yard, he returns to normal size. To find which door that they went through, Monaco is faced with a number of closed doors. Monaco waves his magic stick and footsteps light up on the ground, lending him to the right door. So he somehow illuminated their steps. Following the illuminated footsteps, I didn't even read that yet, and I got the word. Monaco goes cautiously along dark, winding passages. Suddenly, without warning, Monica drops through the floor. What the? And ends up in an underground chamber.
An unexpected guest. Quick, grab him and tie him up.
Okay, let's see. In a flash, there seems to be a number of Monacos. Oh, devils, which one we grab, boss? But Miro is not to be fooled.
This one.
Monaco puts up a fight with gestures. This seemed to hit Miro's guards from out of thin air as they tumble all around the room. Smack! What the? Smack! No! Can't do, boss! No, can't catch! Oh! Smack! Miro waits for Monaco to hit a certain spot in the room.
Oh,
Then, Huh?
Man, I'm gonna have to call it a night because are they gonna come? They
Well,
gonna keep calling me.
I think we're almost finished. Can you, we're
Hold up,
almost.
I gotta go see. I gotta go see what she wants.
We're in for another pause here, folks. Sorry about that.
Okay, where were we?
All right. Miro waits for Monaco to hit a certain spot in the room. Then he presses a button.
There, my tricky friend. We catch you nicely.
A heavy steel cage drops over Monaco, catching him like a rabbit in a trap. Monaco is moved to another chamber where Al is chained to the wall, and they are left alone. Monaco, you too? What is this Miro up to? For years, Miro has tried to gain control of the world. He heard of your powerful explosive and means to force the secret from you. Al is taken out and tortured for hours, but will not reveal his secret. Wow! Oh! Now, get that. Torturing in a comic there.
And all of this was pre-Cold War. That's the funny part.
And pre-CCA.
Mm-hmm. Take him to the knife.
Right. Oh, what was that?
Yep. Take him to the knife. He will talk. Bring Monaco too.
They are strapped to a table, and directly over their throats hangs a large razor sharp axe. It is ready. It is ready.
Good.
Now, go to the left there.
Swing the axe. This slow torture will give him time to think. Maybe he will talk very shortly.
Slowly, the axe swings, bringing the razor sharp blade closer and closer to their throats. I can't stand this any longer. I'll talk. Wait, I have an idea. Monaco talks to the axe. All right, axe. Go to work. Okay. Let's see. Suddenly, the axe leaves the ceiling and flits around, cutting all of their bonds. What happened? Shh. We're free now to make our escape. Snap. In a flash, they shrink to tiny people. What's this? All the doors are locked. We must be small to escape. Quick, into this crack in the wall. I hear footsteps. They're gone, boss. Gone. They,
They, they cannot have gone far. Search the place. We must get that secret formula.
After a futile search of every room, No can find, boss.
Hurry, I have a plan.
After they leave, Al and Monaco wend their way to freedom through cracks and under locked doors. Becomes worried since she has not heard Monaco and decides to find out what happened. I must find them. As she nears Miro's hideout, a car pulls out. Miro recognizes Jody.
Stop the car. Grab that girl.
Monaco and Al emerge from the building. That's Josie's voice. Look. Help! Miro drives off with Josie into the night. Monaco and Al hail a taxi and follow, but hopelessly lose Miro's trail in heavy city traffic. We lost him. Quick, to my laboratory. He'll surely head for there. Meanwhile, Miro goes to another of his hideouts, an old tugboat in the river. That's you, actually.
Bring her on to the boat.
Josie is tied up in one of the cabins.
That's good. Get a can of gasoline.
Oh boy.
You will find out what it means to meddle in Miro's affairs.
A can of gasoline with a long lighted fuse attached is set near Josie.
In 2 hours, this ingenious bomb will explode, and you will be burnt to a crisp. In the meantime, you may suffer with your thoughts.
Oh.
Come, we must get that formula.
Meanwhile, Al and Monaco arrive at the laboratory. He hasn't been here yet. Good, we'll wait. I want to fix up a few surprises for my good friend. Here comes Miro. Now we'll be ready for him. Miro goes into the laboratory and reaches for a can of secret powder.
It talks.
Must not touch.
It talks.
Yes, it's some of Monaco's tricks. Boss, look.
It's some of Monaco's tricks.
Yes, it's some of Monaco's tricks. A cloud of smoke puffs up from one of the cans. Miro grabs a can, but drops it quickly.
Ow! It's red hot.
Bernie, burn! Petrified with fear, Miro's guards dash away. Oh, devils!
Oh, devils.
Miro
Mhm.
becomes... Oh, okay, yeah, that was Miro. Sorry. One of the other.
That's all right.
Miro becomes panicky and runs to his car and makes a mad dash through town with Al and Monaco in close pursuit.
Start the motor. Oh, wait a minute.
Coming to the
Go
end
ahead.
of the dock, Miro leaps from his car to a waiting seaplane
Start the motor.
and leaves Monaco and Al behind. Monaco spoiled... I'm sorry.
Monaco spoiled my plans. I'll be back to take care of him.
That's good riddance, but I'm afraid he'll be back. Someone is yelling for help. It's coming from that old tugboat. Meanwhile, in the tugboat, Josie screams for help. as the fuse burns shorter and shorter. Help! Monaco dashes into the old tug to investigate, finds Josie, and carries her to safety. I don't know. Oh, wait. I don't know. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. With a deafening roar, the tugboat is blown to bits. Bang! That was too close for comfort, but we're all safe. It was luck that we found you in time. Miro is a fiendish devil. He'll go to any lengths to gain his ends. I must watch him more closely. And there we go. So there's the end of the story there. How did you like the story tonight, Terry?
The Adventures of Monaco was a highlight of all of them.
Yeah, and you'll be able to come back on Sunday for Weekend Edition and tell everybody about your experiences from when we're reading all these, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're well past 2 hours. We're like almost coming up on 3 hours. So we're going to start wrapping up the show here. The last segment of the show, of course, is This Day in Niche History. So if you can stick around for just a quick moment afterwards, just to wrap things up after we're done here, Terry, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
2003, 1933, and 2018. So without any further ado, we're going to do this real quickly. So today being Friday, April 21st, 2023, let's take a look back at this day in niche history. History! So, anyways, first off, I'm going to head back 90 years ago. As on this date, 90 years ago today, Fleischer Studios' Betty Boop's birthday party premiered in movie theaters on this date back in 1933. It was an animated short film, a Fleischer Studio animated short film starring Betty Boop and featuring Coco the Clown and Bimbo. Basically, where they were pretty much celebrating Betty Boop's birthday. So, on this date, 90 years ago today, Betty Boop's birthday party premiered in theaters. Moving on to the next piece of niche history here. Heading to 1999, which was 24 years ago today. On this date, 24 years ago today, the 25th issue of Resurrection Man from DC Comics went on sale for $2.50, 32 pages. The story was titled Millennium Then, written by Dan Abnett, and Andy Lanning, penciled by Jackson Guise, inked by Paul C. Ryan, lettered by Kenny Lopez, and colored by Carla Feeney. So on this date, 24 years ago today, 25th issue of Resurrection Man went on sale on this date. Also, moving ahead to 2003, heading into 2003 here, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Main event. This was the go home Raw before Backlash, I believe. Main event saw Booker T and Triple H go to a no contest in a World Heavyweight Championship match with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. Spike Dudley teaming with Trish going up against his brothers, the Dudley Boys, ended in a no contest. Rodney Mack defeated White Boy Evans in a 5-minute White Boy challenge. Okay, and Scott Steiner and Test defeated 3-minute Warning. So on this date, 20 years ago today, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event. And finally, 5 years ago today, on this date, 5 years ago today, the original net animation from from Kyoto Animation. Kyoto Animation's Liz and the Bluebird was an animated drama film directed by Naoko Yamada and Reiko Yoshida. So Liz and the Bluebird from Kyoto Animation premiered in movie theaters on the stage. So it was a movie, not an OVA. But anyways, ONA. So anyways, I thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. We got through quite a bit of content tonight and really had quite a night, didn't we, Terry? Terry? Terry, you there? I guess he got called away again. Well, anyways, guys, I thank y'all for being here. You there, Terry?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, want to say goodbye to everybody?
Well, I will more than likely see all of you on Sunday and again on Monday if you tune in for the draw along on the Hero Shack channel.
All right. All right. So I thank everybody for being here, and we will see you all on Sunday. Bye.